well, I would go back to the people who want that project and say, are you willing to pay a one-time assessment for us to make that happen? And if they said yes, then we could levy that assessment. If you were if there was not a 25% protest against, it would go forward and we could construct the project.
But is that a one-time assessment for any project? I mean, each project, or?
Is
Each
that a
project-
year or
each
life
project-
or per project?
Yeah.
Per project.
That's what I want.
Sorry.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
wording should be per
Okay.
project
Yeah.
assessment.
And these assessments is not throughout the whole development, right? It's just for whichever area it's benefiting?
For the
It's
project.
it's specifically written to say that it can only be assessed against those benefiting from the project. So receiving a benefit from the project.
So would that include, how's that broke down? I mean, like if you had a development and you was gonna pave the main parking area and there were, say, 5 houses on this back strip, would that whole development, I mean, would each individual development be broken down into chunks at that point, or are they going in as a whole?
Let's use that Powder Ridge Road example, right? I would say that it's arguable that the only people who benefit from the existence of Powder Ridge Road are property owners along that road, right? And they would be the only ones that would be able to object, and they would be the only ones that could be assessed for that project. The walking path is a community benefit that everybody from the resort has access to. It's like a park, right? I mean, everybody in it. So I would say that would be an at-large assessment against the entire resort. It's been brought up, well, West Ridge Road not only services West Ridge Road, but it is, a lot of people bike and walk and enjoy that road as well. I think in that situation, it becomes up to the board to identify the proper mixture of funding, because 25% is already going to have to come from at-large funding, from operational funding, because I've made that commitment that I will support that as a bylaw. Then the other 75%, again, what I would like to see happen with that is that we do it when the reserve allows for that 75%. But if the owners of West Ridge Road want to bump that up, then we need to go and identify, how much should be an assessment, and whether or not that assessment should be against everybody or just West Ridge Road. My position on that would be, well, if the entire resort's paying 25% and we're using resort reserve funding to pay another, 50% of it, the remaining should probably be against West Ridge Road. That would be my position on that. And we'd bring that to West Ridge Road. They could either reject that as an solution, or they accept it as a solution. If they reject it, the board's got to figure out a different way to go about it.
As long as you're considered in the development of West Ridge Road, everybody either pays or nobody pays.
Right.
Okay.
And
so you wouldn't break it down and say the east side of West Ridge Road pays, but the west side don't. I mean, would you ever?
Not for a West Ridge Road improvement.
Right.
Well, I mean, would that ever?
Would that ever? That's. I think that I want to go say that every project has to be considered on its own merits. East West Ridge Road and South North West Ridge Road and South West Ridge Road are divided in the wintertime. If only one half was done, there's no formal association there, which makes these guys really difficult to try to deal with. Not to deal with, but to try to come to use as a partner.